Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Tom Talks podcast. It's your boy. It's the one and only Tom here. Tom John. Tom John 215. I don't know what you want to call me, but it doesn't matter. I'm excited because the NFL playoffs have officially started and we got the news cycle going on in the NFL as well. We're going to go over all of that. We're going to go over the wild card weekend which we have right in front of us, make our predictions for the next week's game, and like I said already, we're gonna talk about the coaching cycle, the GM cycle. Not it doesn't like there's a couple things that happened already, but like I said, we'll go over everything. So to recap this first game, I'm gonna take a huge L on this game and the Rams and Vikings game, but we'll talk about the Vikings Rams game in a second. But this first game, Chargers got their asses whooped. The Texans defense decided to show the fuck up this game. I'm sorry, Texans, I was not familiar with your game. Because when it comes to the Houston Texans, we all know about CJ Stroud. He was up and down. He's experiencing a sophomore slump. He was a great rookie last year. This year he's been struggling. And the defense was okay last year. I mean, yeah, they kicked ass in their first playoff game last year against the Browns. But me and like a lot of other people, like especially the sports analyst people, thought the Chargers would go in and whoop that ass because Chargers are the number one scoring defense and and I think they have a top five, definitely top 10, but I think they have a top five overall defense because they were, from what I've saw the Chargers, they were pretty damn good, but clearly they were exposed. I mean, they were doing great in the beginning. The defense was doing good. They were doing their own thing. The problem was the offense couldn't do anything. The Chargers' offensive line, like they're a solid offensive line. The rookie tackle Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater is a solid tackle in the league. Middle line's pretty good, but Houston had their way with them. Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, and those guys up the middle, they had their way with that offensive line. And most importantly, Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions, which is fucking insane because he only threw 3 interceptions the entire year. And when it comes to the playoffs, turnovers are a lot bigger. They mean a lot more in the playoffs than they do in the regular season. And Nico Collins for the Houston Texans stepped his shit up. Like, he is that guy. I think there's definitely an argument to be made that Nico Collins is a top 10 wide receiver when he's healthy. Because they don't have Stephon Diggs and they don't have Tank Dell, and they're probably not going to have Tank Dell next year. They're most likely not going to have Stephon Diggs again next year as well because he's a free agent after this year. Tank Dell's done for this year and most likely probably done next year because of that nasty ass knee injury against Kansas City, where his own player ran him after scoring the touchdown, which was an insane sight to see. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about this game in particular. Nico Collins did his thing. CJ Stroud he was able to throw open to whatever receiver he needed to catch the ball, and Joe Mixon did his thing. He helped run the football. So I looked like an absolute jackass this game. Saying that the Chargers would win, just like a lot of other people, especially Rex Ryan. This next game though, 28-14, the Ravens. Let me say it. Hold on. Let me say this. When it comes as an Eagles fan, as you can see, I'm an Eagles fan, and a lot of people say that the NFC East have the best rivalries. When it comes to Eagles Cowboys, we hate each other. Eagles Giants are a lot of classics throughout the years. Eagles and Commanders, football team, Redskins. There have been a lot of good games back and forth between those two franchises. In my opinion, the best rivalry has always been Baltimore and Pittsburgh. This majority of the time, like there are a few games where one team dominates the other. And unfortunately in the playoffs, this is one of those times where Baltimore absolutely dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when I say dominate, I mean dominate. Pittsburgh didn't even show up to fight. Like, Pittsburgh has always been known for their defense, and their defense looked soft. Derrick Henry stiff-armed Minkah Fitzpatrick into next year, into 2026. I know it's 2025, but he stiff-armed his ass into 2026. Then he ran for a 40, 50-yard touchdown near the end of the game score their final touchdown. Lamar Jackson did whatever the hell he wanted, running the football, throwing the football, does not matter. Lamar Jackson is arguably the best quarterback in the playoffs as of right now. I mean, obviously we didn't see Mahomes play, but for this slate of games, obviously Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are the two favorite to be MVPs. In my opinion, it's going to be. I thought all year it was going to be Josh Allen, just because he had a better record at the end and he did a lot more with less talent around him. Lamar Jackson has a lot more talent around him and a fewer wins, but those last few weeks of the season, to me, wrapped it up for him. Kicked ass against the Texans, kicked ass against the Browns, and I'm trying to think of where they played Week 16. I think he had a great game there, but doesn't matter. We're not talking about the MVP. We're talking about this game. Steelers decided not to show up, both offensively, defensively. There are a lot of rumors and speculations going around that Mike Tomlin wants to request a trade. I don't know if he wants to, but I don't know. All the analysts are saying, oh, Mike Tomlin should want to leave the Steelers. He already signed a 3-year contract extension last year, so he's not going anywhere. And if Mike Tomlin does decide to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's going to get picked up like that within the same day. It was the same thing with Andy Reid. Andy Reid was fired in 2013 after we were going 4-12, and it was picked up by the Chiefs literally a week later. Something very similar is going to happen with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I mean, I can see why, because he's been there for so long. He's the longest tenured coach. And funny enough, John Harbaugh's the second longest tenured coach, literally higher than next year. But anyway, I don't know, dude. I think the Steelers would be dumb if they actually decided not to keep Mike Tomlin. But from everything that he said, he's not going anywhere. So that's probably this is most likely a non-story becoming a story because people want to talk about it. Because it's getting close to the off season, we gotta find shit to talk about. And speaking of shit to talk about, we'll talk about that later. The Buffalo Bills absolutely destroyed the Denver Broncos. I thought this game was going to be a lot closer, but I'm not shocked that the Bills kicked their ass. Like I said, Bo Nix, rookie year, he had a great rookie season. Started off a little slow like most rookies do, had his ups and downs, but he picked it up at the end of the year and was able to lead his team to the playoffs. That is huge for a rookie quarterback. Huge for Sean Payton, huge for those who build chemistry together. And yeah, I mean, the Bills shouldn't. Actually, not the Bills. The Broncos should not be ashamed of how they ended their year. They obviously have some obvious fix-ups, like they need to fix their run defense. The run defense was absolutely horrible. The Bills just ran all over them. They did whatever they wanted to them, and they definitely need a few more offensive weapons. So that's going to be the future for the Denver Broncos. Bills, meanwhile, Josh Allen just continues to do whatever he wants. Like he'll run the football. The offensive play calling was great. Defense stepped up, and then we'll talk about next week because that's gonna be the big test for their defense. It's gonna be a really, really good game, arguably the best game of the year. A lot of people are saying. A lot of people are predicting. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Meanwhile, there's a lot of bullshit going on when it comes to my Eagles game. Obviously the scoreboard doesn't say it 22-10. Obviously, and I'm happy that we won. There are two things can be true at once. The Eagles as a team overall played a really good game, and at the same time that we really should have kicked their ass. Like we should have won this game 45-10. But I'm gonna take the win as it is because a lot of people are shitting on Jalen Hurts, and it's pissing me off only because he just got back from a concussion, and he did the most important thing you needed to do in the playoffs, and that is not turn the football over. The man threw 2 touchdown passes with no turnovers, and he ran the ball pretty well. He did what he does best. He takes care of the football. He didn't turn the ball over, which is I'm going to keep reiterating. It's the most important thing you can do in the playoffs as a quarterback is to not turn the ball over. And I don't know. It makes me mad that all these fucking analysts are expecting Jalen Hurts to be it doesn't make sense to me. They want people to say, "Oh, Jalen Hurts is on that Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen level." We want to say he's up. They want to criticize him like he's on that level, but at the same time, they say he's not on that level. So like, it's either one or the other. You either judge him as like the quote unquote mid. Hold on, let me get my air quotes in here. Quote unquote mid quarterback that he is, or you judge him like he's one of the elite quarterbacks. You can't. They want to have both. They want to have their cake and eat it too, and it just pisses me off. Like Jalen Hurts has his moments. Like he has his great moments, he has his down moments, but I'm I personally am satisfied with the performance of Jalen Hurts. And I just feels like they're not giving any credit to our defense, which caused 3 interceptions, and our special teams, which forced a fumble after the first kickoff of the game. Like we really took a possession away from the Green Bay Packers. We pressured Jordan Love. Like the defense did what they were supposed to do. Now, unfortunately, we lost Nakobe Dean. That's gonna be that's a fucking bummer. And I'm hoping it's not gonna be that big of a deal, but it is gonna be a big deal because he kicked ass. He was a reason why we were able to stop the run so damn well. And we play the Rams, and they run the ball okay, but I'm confident. But anyway, let's talk about these next 2 games. The Commanders edged out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I knew this would be a close game. This was arguably going to be the best game of the weekend. And when I say best game, I mean like closest game of the weekend, and I was correct. Um, yeah, just Jaden Daniels he's a dude. Jaden Daniels is gonna be a fucking problem in the NFC East. It's gonna be Eagles and Commanders for like the next 5 years, going back and forth, because no one knows what's going. Because the Giants are a dumpster fire, and no one knows what the hell the Cowboys are doing when it comes to head coaching. We'll talk about that in a second. The biggest turnover of the game was Baker Mayfield's, like, I don't know if it was a botched handoff. I don't know if it's supposed to be a fake handoff, but he botched a handoff to a receiver, and it caused a fumble, and the Commanders recovered, and they won. And the Commanders won on a botched kick, like a field goal, kicked it, they boinked it off the right upright, but it bounced. Luckily for them, it bounced in. So a little bit of luck, but at the same time, they did what they needed to do. And yeah, like I said, Jane Dallas is him. And I thought the Bucks were going to win, and clearly I was wrong. So now the Commanders are going to go to Detroit, and meanwhile, the LA Rams whooped on the Vikings, and it's a damn shame because I thought this was going to be a really good game as well. But Sam Darnold looked awful these past 2 weeks, and now his future's up in the air. We have no idea what the hell's going on with Sam Darnold. He's If I were Sam Darnold, I would try to do everything in my power to stay with Minnesota because this is the team that made you look really good this year. Despite these last couple of weeks, like obviously you're gonna lose about, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 million dollars. But at the same time, I just feel like if he goes anywhere else, he's not gonna have the same production as this. Like the offensive line needs to be better, and I don't know what happened with the defense, dude. The Rams torched the Vikings defense this game. Just Sean McVay simply out coached Brian Flores, which is fucking crazy because Flores is one of the best DCs in the game. But we're talking about Sean McVay. He's one of the best offensive minds in the game. It's McVay, Andy Reid, and Kyle Shanahan are the 3 best offensive minds in the game. And McVay simply outcoached him. Matt Stafford did whatever he wanted with that defense. Drove down the field opening drive for a fucking touchdown. But there's one call that I absolutely do not agree with, and that was the non-fumble fumble by Stafford. He tried to do that little. It looked like he tried to do like a little shovel pass. Like he got away. I think he got away with that. That was not a 4 pass. That was a fumble. That could have changed the entire tide of the game because I think the Vikings were down like what 10-3, and I think they tied the game up. That would have been a tie game at that point. But they reviewed it and oh no, it's not a touchdown. It's not a touchdown. It's a 4 pass. It's an incomplete, which is a bunch of crap, bunch of bullshit. But yeah, a lot of questions to the Vikings. I'm genuinely curious to see what Sam Darnold's gonna do. I don't know because if I'm Sam Darnold, I should resign with the Vikings because there's no when it comes to teams that need quarterbacks. I don't think there's any team that has the same offensive firepower like Justin Jefferson, a Jordan Addison, a good running back like Aaron Jones, and a solid offensive line the way the Vikings do have. I would say no. Pittsburgh's not. Their offensive line suck. Their offensive line's not that great, and they only have George Pickens. I'm trying to think who else. The Browns. He's not going to go to Cleveland. Cleveland's going to draft into the quarterback. I mean, he could go to Cleveland, but I think they're going to lean towards the draft. Or probably sign Kirk Cousins. But yeah, that's not important right now. But and most important, the Rams got 9 sacks. So Chris Shula, basically what it seemed like he did, he just copied what the Lions did, and the Rams just have better defensive athletes than the Lions do. Jared Verse is a guy. He's mostly going to be defensive rookie of the year. He's someone I liked, and I would have been very happy if we drafted Jared Verse, but I'm glad we drafted Quinyon Mitchell because he finally got his first interception in the playoffs. But anyway, and his teammate Brandon Fisk also was a big monster. What's his name? Kobe Turner, and a few other players got a lot of sacks. So 9 sacks. That's crazy. They scored as many points. The Vikings got 9 points. The Rams got the same amount of sacks. That's just insane to me. All right, so let's go to the next round of the playoffs. Texans at Chiefs. A lot of people are saying that the Chiefs could be an upset alert. I'm going to say absolutely not. No way in hell. The only thing I'd be worried about from the Chiefs is fucking little rust. First drive. You get a couple first downs, and then you maybe punt the ball. That's really about it. I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to fucking win this game. I don't know if they're gonna dominate, but I expect them to win this game because remember, they played a few weeks ago. Texans, CJ Stroud did not look good against that Chiefs defense, and it doesn't matter what the Chiefs lack because they have 2 crappy offensive tackles and they're still 15-2. Like Andy Reid is gonna know how to beat D'Amico Ryan's defense. Like he's gonna know to throw screens. He's gonna know to throw quick passes. Tell Mahomes, hey, you need to throw these screen passes. You need to throw these quick routes. And they have all their offensive weapons back. Hollywood Brown is back fully healthy. Travis Kelce is gonna be a problem, and DeAndre Hopkins is gonna make the big catch when he needs to make the big catch. And you have Juju Smith-Schuster who can make a play here. He can make a play here or there when you need him to. And you also have what's his name, Justin Watson. He can. And same thing with Justin Watson. He can make a play here or there when you need him to. So I know that Texas defensive backs looked really good against the Chargers, but they have better but the Chiefs have better offensive weapons. Even Derek Stingley takes out DeAndre Hopkins, or if he takes out Hollywood Brown, no one can cover Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's gonna have a day. That's my prediction. My prediction is Travis Kelce's gonna go off. He's gonna have a crazy game crazy run like he did last year in the playoffs, which is, in my opinion, is the reason why the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Is all because of Travis Kelce. So yeah, you know what? Chiefs win, and the Chiefs defense is gonna kick CJ Stroud's ass again, in my opinion. So now this game, Commanders at Lions. Commanders are big underdogs. Detroit should win this game, but I'm going to pick Detroit to win, but it's going to be a lot closer. It's going to be a really close game, in my opinion. Jane Daniels he's something else. He's special. He's him. He's that guy. He's going to run the ball when he needs to, and that's going to be the reason why they stay in this game. A lot of teams struggle with mobile quarterbacks, but it seems like especially the Detroit Lions struggled the most. So I think that's going to be the reason why the Commanders keep it a close game. But, like I said, I just think Aaron Glenn's going to get a head coaching job, and Ben Johnson's going to get a head coaching job after this year. And I think Aaron Glenn's going to prove why he deserves to be a head coach. Man's got 13 players on injured reserve on the defensive side of the football, and they're still kicking ass. Like, they kicked the Vikings' ass a couple weeks ago. I don't think they're going to kick Jane Daniels' ass because Sam Darnold is not mobile, but I think he's going to do just enough. I think they're going to make a couple plays to stop Jane Daniels. But like I said, it's going to be close. I think it's going to be at least a 7-point game, something along the lines like 30-23. That's what I'm guessing score-wise. And now, the Sunday set of games, the LA Rams are traveling to Philadelphia. Now, I just watched a replay of the 2001 NFC Championship game, the tail end of the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, those guys. They won, and they won in St. Louis against my Eagles. Donovan McNabb's first NFC Championship game. Did not. I mean, he did okay. He didn't really. He gave the game away. Just McNabb is. I don't know how to. I don't know how to explain McNabb. He's a very. It's a very strange thing how I want to describe McNabb. Like, on one hand, he's still arguably the best Eagles quarterback of all time, but on the same time, like he was so goddamn frustrating because, just he always came up this short. Like he always missed a couple of throws that cost him the game. He didn't use his legs at the end because he wanted to be focused as known as a throwing quarterback. But I always loved McNabb no matter what. He was the first quarterback the Eagles in my lifetime that got me into playing in the football. So anyway, enough reminiscing about the past. We played this team earlier this year, and we whooped that ass 37-20. We ran all over the motherfuckers, and I think we're gonna do the same goddamn thing again. I think Jalen Hurts is only gonna throw the ball 15 times. I think Saquon Barkley's gonna have a 30-plus carry game because it's supposed to be snowing again. We're about to get another snowball. That's what at least the early weather reports is about to say. It's going to be snowing in Philadelphia, and it's going to be fun. And I don't know if we're going to dominate, but I think we're going to win. But I'm very confident that we're going to win this game. Handedly. At least by 10 points. Say a score of like 30-20. Or hell, 24-14. Something like that. Like, I know the Rams played well against the Vikings, but that defense is not getting 9 sacks against us. And that offensive line, they are not protecting him the way they're not protecting Matt Stafford the way they did against Minnesota. Matt Stafford is more patient, but and honestly, Matt Stafford, it probably is the best quarterback, like legacy-wise in the conference, but I think the Eagles are going to do enough especially our defense. I think we're going to kick their ass. I know I said only about Tim. I know I kind of just hypocrite myself, but I don't care. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. That's all I'm going to say. And then last but not least, arguably the best game of the year. Well, so far, probably the best game in this round. The Baltimore Ravens go to the Buffalo Bills. This is a tough game to predict, because it's a coin flip. It can go either way. Ravens can win this game because of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Or the Bills can win this game because just solely on the legs of Josh Allen making one more play than Lamar Jackson does. God damn it. The Bills, I think the Ravens are favored on the road. God damn it. I don't know who to pick. This is a really good game. And the Ravens defense they've gotten better I think ever since like week 13 or something, week 12. They've been like the number one defense in a lot of categories. So the Ravens defense has stepped up big time. And I believe Zay Flowers is coming back. And I'm a little concerned about the Bills' defensive backs. And I feel like Rashad Bateman can have a day. Zay Flowers, if he's back, he can have a day. And both the Ravens tight ends, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, can have big days. So, I don't know. I'm going with the Ravens on the road. I think the Ravens will be the only road team to win in this round in the playoffs. If a road team can win, I think it will be the Baltimore Ravens. But I wouldn't be shocked if Josh Allen somehow finds a way to beat the Baltimore Ravens. Because they kicked their ass the first time. It was 35-10, but a lot of other circumstances were going on during that game as well. All right, so that's my prediction for the divisional round of the playoffs. And now let's talk about these coaching interviews and these what's going on in the interview. Oh, the pretty hot bitch Jane Slater. Anyway, so let's talk about some of these hires and let's talk about these departures. So the Cleveland Browns, I don't know these guys, Mike Bloomgren and Tommy Rees, because it's not really that important, because we only talk about the head coaching, firings, and hirings. The Patriots, they got the belle of the ball this year. They got Mike Vrabel. He's coming back home to New England. He played for the Patriots during their first Super Bowl run in 2001 to 2008. Remember the franchise Hall of Fame, like it says there. He was the previous coach of the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, and he did very well with what little that he had there. He had a surprising year leading the team to the AFC Championship game. And then he had a 12 and he won the division multiple times after that. And I don't know, like he's obviously gonna have a longer leash than Gerard Mayo did. And the only thing I'm gonna say about the whole Gerard Mayo situation is that he should never have been hired in the first place. Like the Patriots should never just use him as like a token black coach hire, because that's what it is at this point. Let's just call a spade a spade. Gerard Mayo was a token black coach hire, and it didn't work out. He was 4-13. I think the Patriots knew that they were not going to have a good year this year. Bill Belichick's last year, 4-13. Gerard Mayo's last year, 4-13. Now, did he do a lot of things that were quote unquote unprofessional? Sure. He calls teams soft to the media, which is a big no. You got to keep that shit in house. I understand that, but to just hire him for a year and then let him go afterwards, I don't know. It's very sus, but that's just the business, unfortunately. That's just the NFL. That's just the business. That's how shit's going down. And the NFL is they're just very hypocritical in their social justice messaging, and wanting to and need more black head coaches, black coaches in the league, and let them go after 1 year. Fucking ridiculous. Anyway, Cowboys first. The Cowboys are officially letting go of Mike McCarthy. They are now in the head coaching cycle, the hunt for the next Cowboys head coach. And it's a damn shame because now all the media is ever going to talk about, all of the ESPNs, the NFL networks, all the other sports channels, and other sports podcasts. We're going to be talking about who's the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and who should it be, who is it not. Because in my opinion, they should have kept Mike McCarthy. But you know, Dak Prescott has a lot to blame for it. He got hurt this year, making $60 million. A lot of it's on Jerry Jones, but the problem with the Cowboys is Jerry Jones. And I think a lot of people know it. Like everyone outside of the Cowboys fan base knows it, but I think some people in the Cowboys fan base are starting to wake up and be like, "Yeah, Jerry Jones is the fucking problem, and we will never win another Super Bowl as long as he keeps running the goddamn Cowboys." And I hope Jerry Jones lives to be 180, so then he'll never win another Super Bowl in my lifetime, my kids' lifetime, my grandkids, my great grandkids' lifetimes. Because you see me wearing this hat, right? I hate the star. I hate the Cowboys. And now there's rumors and speculations that Deion Sanders might coach the Cowboys, which I don't know. And it's nothing against Deion Sanders, nothing against Coach Prime, but at the same time, like the Cowboys are their spotlight. They're in the limelight all the time. Coach Prime's in the limelight all the time. Are the two big dogs gonna clash, Jerry and Deion, or can they work together? That's like the main question I have if they go that route, which I don't think they will. But they're gonna keep bringing this up. I think a lot of the people in the media want this to happen because that's all we're gonna hear for the next. Along with the NFL playoffs, this is all we're going to talk about: is the Cowboys head coach. Who's going to be? Is it going to be Ben Johnson? Is it going to be Aaron Glenn? Is it going to be? Because I think I saw something. They interviewed Robert Saleh today, which is an interesting choice. It's not everything was his fault with the Jets. A lot of bullshit was going on behind the scenes. Like, again, bad ownership with Woody Johnson, and I was going to deal more bad ownership with the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones if Robert Saleh were to go there. But we'll see. He would definitely improve that defense though, because that defense was fucking garbage all year. Let's see. Firings: they fired Jimmy Lake and Jay Rogers. Falcons need a new DC. Oh, Miami Dolphins let go Wes Welker and Danny Crossman after the season finale. And now the Raiders. They're also in the head coaching market. They fired Tanner Pierce, Tom Telesco. They're cleaning house, and now it's apparently Tom Brady is going to be running the show. He's a minority owner, but he's also going to be running the show, according to Mark Davis. So I'm interested to see what Tom Brady does as a partial owner. I don't know if he's going to be playing GM. I don't know if he's going to be playing just the owner. Is he going to hire a GM? I'm wondering who he's going to hire for head coach. because there was speculation that he was going to talking to Coach Belichick, see if he wanted to coach the Raiders, which he's in North Carolina. I don't think he's leaving North Carolina for at least a year. I think Coach Belichick. I think he should be staying there for a year. Let's see. Giants let go couple of other coaches. Titans fire Ron Carthon. Colts need to do DC. Seahawks fired Ryan Grubb, their offensive coordinator. Bengals fired Lou Anarumo. And Jags on head coaching. Jags need a new head coach as well, firing Doug Peterson after a terrible year. Talked about they fired Jerron Mayo. Bears fired Eberflus. They're looking for a head coach. And a lot of people are saying, and Saints fired Dennis Allen. A lot of people are saying that the Bears and the Saints are the two favorites to hire Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy I think he'd be good at both spots. Now, if he wants to win, I think the Saints would have a better chance of winning down in New Orleans. But I think the Bears would be a better place to hire if he wants to work with Caleb Williams. I think he'll be a better developer of Caleb Williams other than Ben Johnson. But we'll see what happens because no one can interview the remaining coaches until I don't know when. Was it after the Super Bowl? Or is it like before the Super Bowl they can talk to him again? Jets, like I said already, they're a dumpster fire. Firing Salah and Joe Douglas during the season. Having his sons run the fucking team. Woody Johnson's sons were making manager position, like they were trying to make roster decisions, which is fucking insane to me. All right, so now their coach is returning, Steichen's returning, McDaniel, Greer. This surprised me because they fucking Giants returning Dable and Joe Shen or whatever he says his last name is funny to me because they just want to be another dumpster fire. They have another bad year next year. And now let's see who the interviews. Bears are interviewing Thomas Brown, Pete Carroll, Matt Campbell, Brian Flores. Schedule Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, Mike McCarthy. Oh my god, they're interviewing a lot of people. Holy shit. Anyway, so like I said, Dallas Cowboys, they interviewed Robert Saleh. So it looks like I was correct. It looked like I wasn't lying out my ass. So the request, they Brady, Liam Cohen, Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, Patrick Graham, Ben Johnson, Tom Munkin, Kellen Moore, Steve Spagnuolo, Robert Saleh. I don't think Spagnuolo's going to coach again. I think he's going to stay in Kansas City. Let's see. What about the Raiders? They're going to schedule Pete Carroll, Aaron Glenn. They're all just scheduled. They're not really so they are interviewed GMs. Okay, so Chad Alexander, Chargers, John Spietta, the Bucks, John Eric Sullivan, Packers VP, player personnel, Sheldon White, Patriots, they already hired Mike Vrabel, Saints, Aaron Glenn, Mike Kafka, Cliff Kingsbury, Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore. Interesting. Kellen Moore with the Saints. I didn't hear about that. Anthony Weaver and David Shaw. I'm surprised his name's coming up. Worst ever head coach and current Broncos executive. Jets. Let's see. Joe Brady, Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, Vance Joseph, Maryland head coach. Wow, that's a name I never heard of. Matt Nagy. Ooh, Matt Nagy on the offensive side. I think the Jets need to hire an offensive head coach. Rex Ryan, Bobby Slowick, Arthur Smith, Speaks Anola, Ulbrich again, Mike Vrabel, Joe Witt. Let's see. GM, let's see. Any names? I don't Louis Riddick's the only name I really recognize there. Titans. Just GM GM recommendations. OCDC interviews. Worry about that later. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this week's episode. A little longer than I expected, but there was a lot of shit to go over. So catch y'all next week, and then hopefully my Birds will be in the NFC Championship game. Go Birds!